Hello and welcome back to Toffee's YouTube channel, your source for all things Everton. My name's Thomas. I'm back with another Football Manager 2020 video, and here today we've reunited Koeman with Everton. As you can see on your screens here, Ronald Koeman has been announced as the new Everton manager, replacing previous manager Marco Silva. Since this is still in 2019, it doesn't say it replacing Ancelotti. Koeman's no stranger to Everton, having served as manager between June 2016 and October 2017. We're going to simulate until the January transfer window, see how he gets on in the first half of the season, and see how he performs in the transfer market. Obviously, there was a lot of rumours last time he was here to do with Steve Walsh, where we signed Ibrahimovic, where we signed Axel Witsel. You never really know. We're going to see what he does now. He's given the full transfer window, and we're going to skip ahead to January and see how he does. So I'll be back in a moment. Hello and welcome back. As you can see, we've skipped to the 1st of January 2020 and Ronald Koeman is still in the job. Slightly different to other managers that we have seen in the past. We'll start off with the transfer history. Only one extra transfer in, but an interesting one nonetheless. A loan move with a 150k loan fee for Matt Ritchie from Newcastle, who's so far made 5 appearances with 7 off the bench, scoring 3 goals and no assists. He hasn't been in the best form in the Premier League, but his 2 appearances in the Carabao Cup, he has managed to get an average rating of 7.2. We can take a quick look at the schedule. Obviously, Everton are 13th in the Premier Division, which is lower than Martinez was when he was sacked in our last video, but nonetheless, they've decided to stick with Koeman. A poor start to the season with 3 consecutive losses against Burnley, Sheffield United and Manchester City. Through in the Carabao Cup second round against Lincoln, and then another win against Brighton in the Premier League, then another loss against Villa, as well as another loss against Wolves, before progressing even further in the Carabao Cup against Nottingham Forest, also beating Newcastle along the way, knocking Liverpool out of the Carabao Cup in the 4th round, with Theo Walcott brace and Richarlison goal. Also a good month there with a draw against Southampton and a win against Tottenham. A loss against Chelsea and then a 4-0 loss against Liverpool away, before then beating Wolves in the Carabao Cup quarter-finals. Then the Carabao Cup semi-final will be coming up very soon, which will be interesting one for us to look at in the future. As you can see in the tactics here, John Pickford in goal, Coleman and Digne, the favoured wing-backs, with Mina and Holgate, the centre-backs. A more traditional 4-2-3-1 with Davies and Gomez in the central midfield, will be on the left, Bernard on the right, Sigurdsson in the middle, and Richarlison up front, with Calvert-Lewin scoring 6 goals in 17 appearances so far. But at the moment, it seems like Richarlison is the favoured striker with 20 appearances, scoring 6 goals. And Moise Kean not really favoured at all. He's been made available for the reserves, only making 5 appearances. Yeah, he's managed to score twice and get an assist, but other than that, he's not too favoured by Koeman. So we're going to skip to the end of the season now, see how Koeman does in the January transfer window, see how he does for the rest of the season, and if he is still here. Hello, and welcome back. We've skipped to the end of the season here, and as you can see, Ronald Koeman has also been sacked by the end of the season, replaced by Kike Sanchez-Flores, who also replaced Bobby Martinez in our last video. Everton finished the season in 14th. We can take a quick look here. Koeman was sacked on the 29th of January, so just before the end of the January transfer window, after a run of poor performances. And we can skip over here to January to see where they were. Started out with a draw against Southampton, beating Forest in the FA Cup 3rd round, but then a disappointing loss away to Arsenal in the Carabao Cup semi-final, leg 1. Then eventually losing again at home 2-1, meaning the overall score was 4-1 to Arsenal. Everton go out of the Carabao Cup, and after that result, Koeman was sacked. Despite that, Everton had progressed into the 5th round of the FA Cup, drawing twice against Tottenham and Bournemouth in January and losing against Wolves. We can see there were no more incomings in the January transfer window, and the only major outgoing still was Oumar Niasse, who left in the summer transfer window to Dynamo Kiev again for the same fee as the Martinez video. We can take a quick look at the rest of the season now after he was sacked. Sheffield United, Burnley and Norwich all wins in the month of February. A friendly there against CSK Moscow after a 2-week break, it seems like. I'm not sure what that was for in February. Then progression into the 6th round of the FA Cup, losing against West Ham and Watford, but then into the semi-final of the FA Cup against Chelsea, beating Palace, drawn against Chelsea, and then losing to Leicester before beating Liverpool in the FA Cup semi-final 3-1, before drawing to them a few days later in the Premier League, then losing against Brighton and Manchester United, losing against Manchester City and drawing against Newcastle towards the end of the Premier League, another draw against Arsenal and a loss against Aston Villa, and the FA Cup final against Manchester City is to be played in 5 days. We can take a quick look at what Quique Sanchez-Flores has been doing. Using the same Richarlison up front, but Richie's been utilised more on the right wing. Delph has been brought into the midfield. So we're going to skip ahead 5 days, and I think I'm going to show you some highlights of the game, of the FA Cup final, see if Everton can manage to get a trophy win for the first time since 1995. So I'll be back in just a moment. Hello and welcome back. As you can see, we've skipped ahead 5 days to the FA Cup final, Everton versus Manchester City. I'm going to watch it, we're going to talk through some of the highlights, see if Everton can manage to get the win. So we're just going to continue through here. The teams are warming up there. We'll take a quick look at the team lineups when we go into the game. As you can see here, Everton have opted for the 4-2-3-1. John Pickford in goal, Koeman and Digne at the full-backs, Mina and Holgate centre-back, two central midfielders of Andre Gomes and Tom Davies, Gylfi Sigurdsson in the number 10, Richarlison at striker, Bernard on the left and Iwobi on the right. In comparison, City, with a team that we probably all recognise, no signings there I don't think, Bravo in goal, Cancelo and Walker as the full-backs, Otamendi and Stones as the centre-backs, Aguero leads the line with Sterling and Silva on the wings, and then a midfield three of De Bruyne, Silva and Rodri. So now we're going to move into the game, see if we can see if Everton can manage to get the win. Here we go then, first highlight. De Bruyne has played a ball out wide to Kyle Walker, who's going to try and put the ball back across. Mason Holgate manages to block the Sergio Aguero shot, however. Manchester City have a corner here, which is going to be whipped in by Kevin De Bruyne, but is cleared by Holgate as well. Bernardo Silva with the ball back out on the right. See if we can put in the ball to De Bruyne on the edge of the box. Passes it back to Rodri, who plays the ball into Sterling. A lot of heavy possession from Manchester City here. De Bruyne plays that wide to João Cancelo, who's going to try and find a cross. But Sigurdsson manages to clear, and here comes Iwobi down the right. Otamendi now, De Bruyne on the ball again. Back to Otamendi. More possession from Manchester City here. Sterling on the left hand side, and then a tackle, but was insufficient. Ball spread out wide to João Cancelo, who's going to look for a cross here, but he pulls it back to De Bruyne. De Bruyne on the edge of the box now, a ball out wide to Kyle Walker, and Bernard tackles, but then Bernardo Silva wins the ball back. A lot of heavy possession and quite compact defending here from Everton, but here's space for Walker on the right wing, who plays the ball to Raheem Sterling, who has managed to score the first goal of the game in the 20th minute. Everton being quite dominated now in possession and shots, so they're going to have to turn it around well to see if they can win here. Here's João Cancelo with the throw-in straight to Iwobi, but his headed clearance isn't far enough. More of the ball here, but Tom Davies is going to look to hit Manchester City on the break here. Bernard wins the ball back after a tackle over Richarlison, manages to steer the ball just wide. Very decent chance for Everton there, but it has been steered wide. Bravo now with the goal kick. They're going to play it out from the back to John Stones at centre-back. Plays it forwards to Silva. Silva's going to carry the ball quite far here before Iwobi intercepts. Playing the ball inside, some good possession here from Everton as they look to break. Digne on the left passes the ball down the wing to Bernard, who's going to cut inside and have a shot, and that's a brilliant goal to the near post, past Bravo, and that's a leveler, 1-1. Everton have grown into the game here, quite a slow start, but have definitely been the better side for the past few minutes. Manchester City here in the second minute of added time have a free kick. Bernardo Silva stood over it, and he's managed to curl it into the top left corner. That's a brilliant free kick, and Everton fall behind 2-1 just on the stroke of half time. Disappointing there as Everton had going into the game. We can take a quick look at the half time stats here. The shots are quite even, 6 shots each with 4 on target for City and 2 for Everton, but the possession says it all really. Manchester City was 64% possession, and Everton definitely looking to play on the counter attack. So we're going to go into the second half here, see if Everton can score 2 more goals to win. Here's Bernard now in the centre of the midfield, past to Gomez, who spreads it out wide to Digne. Digne's going to cut inside here, look for a shot, but that's straight at Claudio Bravo, not much of a threat. We can see here Otamendi with a throw down the left hand side, and Kun Aguero's in plenty of space, not really sure where the right back's gone. Kun Aguero with a ball into Bernardo Silva, it's been blocked and then saved. He's then been carried away. Kyle Walker now back to Bernardo Silva, and the ball is eventually cleared by Seamus Coleman. Moise Keane's come on here for Alex Iwobi, and Keane's gone up front with Richarlison on the wing. Entering this last 15 minutes here, Manchester City still on the attack. Sterling manages to sneak in front of the defenders, but Mina manages to get in clear for a corner kick to Manchester City. Rodri with the header there, but saved by Pickford. Kyle Walker now with a throw in on the right hand side, so he definitely dominating here. Walker will now look to put a ball into the box, and he does so, but Koeman clears out to De Bruyne, who looks out wide for Eric Garcia on the left back to Otamendi. Bernardo Silva's going to try and create a chance here now for Manchester City, or will he try and go alone? But Dinier's managed to tackle, and Bernard can hopefully counter-attack here. Here goes Keane down the left wing. He's going to cut inside, potentially have a shot, but that's gone way over. That's a disappointing shot. A free kick for Kevin De Bruyne here, curled past the wall, but Pickford's equal to it. Pickford could potentially start an Everton counter-attack here. The ball taken down by Moise Keane up front. Keane's initial effort's blocked, but here's Bernard back on the left wing, but Stones has made the tackle. Stones with the clearance out to the left wing to Eric Garcia, and then Manchester City are making good possession around the back. But Davies managed to win it back in the midfield into Andre Gomez, who's going to play a good ball forward into Richarlison, who's been tackled by Eric Garcia again. Everton looking for a last-ditch equaliser here in the last 10 minutes. Good possession again, Gomez playing a good ball forward into Bernard on the left wing, who's tackled but then managed to play the ball out to Digne. Digne with a cross to Richarlison, and that is an equaliser in the 83rd minute for Everton in this FA Cup final. Potentially now 7 minutes for Everton to nick a winner before we go to extra time. And that's full time, so we're going to go to extra time here. We'll take a quick look at the stats. Manchester City definitely more dominant in that half. Everton only having 5 shots and 2 on target in that second half, but they did very well to equalise with a brilliant Richarlison header. Possession remains largely the same, but Everton are going to have to get more of the ball if they're going to do well for the rest of this game. We're going to start extra time here with Manchester City kicking off. Sterling straight away with the ball out wide into De Bruyne in the middle. He's going to spread the ball straight out wide to Bernardo Silva. He's got an early chance here in extra time, but Koeman is equal to it. But Bernardo's managed to nick the ball back onto Davidson in the edge box. De Bruyne, Sterling, and then Aguero doesn't manage to get a good effort on goal. And the ball's played straight out wide to Bernard, and that's a poor tackle from Otamendi that could see a red card straight here, just early here in extra time. Let's see what the referee does, and that is a straight red for a poor tackle, so Manchester City now down to 10 men. De Bruyne here with a corner kick that's cleared by Mina, and Moise Keane can potentially counter-attack here. He's done well to get down the left wing. Can he fashion a chance for himself? He shoots on goal, and that is another goal for Everton. 3-2 here in the 100th minute. All Everton have to do now is close out for the next 20 minutes, and that is the FA Cup theirs. There it is as we approach the half-time of extra time. Everton still in the lead with 3-2, 15 minutes left. If they can hold on here, they'll win the first trophy since 1995 under Quique Sanchez-Flores. Now Manchester City here with a free kick with only 1 minute to go. Dionku running down the wing here. Can he play in a ball to Aguero? And Aguero's header manages to shave the bar, and that's very close. But Everton here only have 15 seconds left that they have to hold on for in order to win the FA Cup. Pickford splays the ball out wide to Richarlison, who's going to attack down the right wing. But he plays the ball back to Mina quite smartly, back to Seamus Coleman. Could there be a last chance for Everton to score another here? No, it's cleared. We're past the added time here. Free kicks awarded here with Yerry Mina receiving the yellow card, but that should be it by the referee. A Manchester City free kick on the halfway line out to Leroy Sané. Manchester City could nick a chance here towards the end, past the added time. De Bruyne is coming to the box here, but there it is. Everton have won the FA Cup under Quique Sanchez-Flores. Obviously this was the Koeman video, but we skipped to the end of the season to see how they did. 2 very good cup runs, a semi-final in the Carabao Cup and a final, and then eventually an FA Cup win for Everton. So thank you very much for watching. We hope you all enjoyed this different style of video. We looked more at highlights from the FA Cup final instead of just looking at the menus. A brilliant win for Everton, so thank you very much for watching. We appreciate all your support on the videos and hope you're all doing well during this lockdown. Be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe. Let us know who you want us to do a video on in the future. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.